Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the inaugural race of the 2019 Dragon Warrior Randomizer Tournament. Tonight's race features Z-Man and jjschmidt. I'm NESCardinality.
I'm Sparkover, hi!
I hope we're just about ready to start here. I think everyone is ready to go. But we're just checking behind the scenes. It looks like it's about time. So give us 10 or 15 seconds and then the race will begin. Alright, so you see the timer starting just a little bit early. That's the official start time of the SRL race. It looks like there's just a little bit of stream delay with the players, but all that will be taken into account carefully in the event that the race is close. Wow, they started at the exact same moment.
No, they didn't. My thing is being silly. I apologize for that. Oh my gosh. There we go. Alright. Hi.
Nice.
Please ignore that.
So
I'm so sorry.
Fortunately, we managed to see that both players are starting with gold and an herb. 7 strength, 13 agility. Strength is kind of low. 13 agility is pretty good for running away from unwanted encounters when your strength is low. So the players have lots of options, but I think you're going to see a lot of searching around for something to buy with that hand axe money, as I like to call it, because the most valuable prize you can buy is the hand axe.
My apologies, folks. Sometimes the OBS likes to eat the proper inputs, but oh my gosh, can you see some bridges?
Wow, it's like beautiful little sections. Look at the one next to the castle, that's so perfect.
That is so adorable.
So we see Z-Man and JJ running into enemies that they cannot do more than 1 damage to yet, so neither of them are going to want to fight Scorpions or Magidrakes. jjschmidt starting to branch out, while Z-Man, it looks like, is trying to find something to fight nearby.
Alright, so we've got Lolo versus a dog. The Poltergeist, I think, is going to be a little bit much for right now. But they're just trying to find some optimal enemies and get some levels.
Yeah, I haven't seen what's to the right yet, but I'm surprised since... Z-Man finally finds a Drakey, and that's a great starting point. But other than that, I hadn't seen any enemies that were fightable. I was kind of surprised that they didn't maybe go looking for a town or something. JJ finding a ghost, which might be possible with an herb, but I don't know. He's gonna try it, but I don't know if he's gonna have enough HP. Maybe. It's gonna be close. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's a little bit risky, but you will almost be at your next level if you're able to get it at this point. And Zedman going with the exact same plan.
So you see the range with 7 strength against a ghost is 0 to 1, but JJ, I believe, is 1 hit away from winning, so this is gonna come down to the wire, and unfortunately missing there. So unfortunate, but with the save, he gets his HP back and I believe has an herb as well. Meanwhile, Z-Man has to take the death because he's already killed a Drakey, and it would be the same on JJ's side. Like, he might find a ghost, use his herb, or he might kill this Drakey without using an herb. That would be pretty huge. Both players trying to claw their way to that next level.
Yeah, I don't believe we'd seen anything like a slime yet, so I think Drakey is the best choice so far, and JJ does take one down.
You know, I do a lot of talking in these commentaries about how I love seeing when paths diverge and players go in alternate routes, and one of them inevitably ends up finding a key item that helps things along, while the other either does more fighting or more exploration, and their advantages diverge and you can't tell who's winning. But I gotta say, it's really nice to see 2 players trying to do the exact same thing, and just watching how the RNG lets it pan out.
Alright, so we've got 2, 5, 2, and 15 MP.
No spell there, but the 2 strength is definitely going to make a difference. It'll be easy for Z-Man to get to level 3.
Alright, so I imagine that Zedman is going to be continuously looking for the same Drakies, possibly? Do you think we could take out a ghost now? It still, I think, would be risky.
Well, Z-Man can. JJ Schmidt, on the other hand, yeah, the ghost is going to be really risky. He looks like he's just looking for a Drakey, he knows.
Yeah. But we know they're around, and that'll be the, the secret to moving on. So I guess we're definitely not going to be looking out for a town at this point anymore with Zedman committing to the levels, which I don't blame at that point.
Again, I really love seeing this happen. It's just unfortunate that JJ, who is looking specifically for a Drakey, has been unable to find one in a few minutes. But it could happen at any time, and you can see Z-Man is still only at 6 experience, so this Drakey would tie them up at this moment, so still very, very close together, and anything can happen.
So this is definitely one of your examples of diverging paths. You see, Zedman is on the west, and JJ is on the east. Very different. It is a bit of a rough start, though, when you can't find the enemy you're looking for.
There it is!
There's our Drakey.
And just as Z-Man finds another, so for a matter of seconds, JJ Schmidt will have caught up in experience. Oh, I spoke too— oh, look at that! Almost at the exact same time.
The excellent move. So JJ also moves on to level 2, getting, of course, the same stats, as they are both using the Big Zed.
My favorite name of choice. Both players still electing to just go for enemies. I do think ghosts are totally 100% in play now. Although, I don't know if both players have seen them breathe fire. I don't know how frequently they're going to do that, but it looks like JJ Schmidt is trying to attack one, although I think he's expecting a death warp first. He needs his HP back.
Yeah, with no towns being seen yet, the only way to heal is to take a death and, be sent back to start. You get a little bit of a speech from the king, but, they're used to it. Yes, 71 damage. The only thing that can hurt you that much is the Dragon Lord Breath, and that's awful. But there are ways to, well, there is one way to reduce that damage. We'll get to that later.
Its maximum is 72, and it's interesting. I've seen a few seeds where that has come into play, where as soon as we get, 73 HP or a little more, suddenly that actually changes things because there are so many enemies breathing fire.
There is also a smaller version of the fire, though. That's closer into the 20s. Not quite as much of a threat, but still definitely very dangerous in the early stages of the game.
Alright, Z-Man is getting luckier with enemies right now. This Drakey's gonna put him up to 15 experience. He's basically 2 Drakeys ahead, which is not very large at this moment.
Knows you can't fight a scorpion. Those are still a little too tough for right now. Yeah, I think definitely given the fire breath, it is just right now the great Drakey hunt of 2019.
JJ Schmidt finally electing to branch out a little bit, and I'm curious— oh, there's too much swamp. So, didn't miss out on anything, as it turns out.
So a question in chat asking, why do they keep running from some bats and fighting others? We have seen 2 different types of Drakeys. The blue one are the Drakeys, and the pink ones are the Magi-Drakeys. They are quite a little stronger, so they cannot quite fight them at this level. I think most sets of enemies have 3 different variants that come in different colors and with different names, though I think Skeleton is 4. Are there any others?
Skeleton has 4, and there's one that only has 2, kind of to offset that. I don't remember what enemy it is.
Wait, Droll and Druin.
Good call.
Hey. Thought. Brain. Work. Zedman still does want to try the ghosts. I guess he figures that the fire breath chance isn't that great, or that just, it's worth it if he does make it. I feel like he's getting close that I haven't seen since the very beginning, and he did it. He did it. He did it. So this will be level 3. Courage and wit. What does he get?
1 power, 1 response speed, 4 HP, 11 MP, still no spell, and no tremendous gain in power. And we already know this means that both players are still going to be stuck in this area at level 3.
Yeah, so I suppose we are either waiting for when you can heal or when you have enough health to get through the swamp. So Zedman is going for a little walk. I'm not sure if he has checked the exact depth of the swamp, as we'll call it, but...
Yeah, it's time for him to take the first plunge. He'll see the same thing and then Death Warp again.
That, or maybe he's just looking for a different zone of enemies to fight. Though, with his strength, there isn't a whole lot. I think even a magician might be a little much for him right now.
This is interesting. I don't know if, he might be hoping that something like a red slime appears in Zone 2, and that is a possibility. We haven't seen anything like that yet, so I don't think it's gonna pay off here, but it's a reasonable thing to check when there are only, 1.5 enemies that you can fight.
So how do you fight half an enemy?
Well, you swing at a ghost and pray that he doesn't breathe on you.
Yeah, I suppose so. So JJ still stuck at 9 experience, unfortunately, has really having trouble finding that Drakey, but hey, look, there's one right there. You can do it, JJ. Get that Drakey.
This is going to be interesting. JJ, we've seen, was strong last year, took a long break, and has been racing recently, as I mentioned in chat in the pre-show, and just, came back as though he had never stopped. He's playing really strong. It will be very interesting to see how he handles a situation like this. You know, he's getting bad luck in terms of the enemies he's finding. Once he reaches level 3, we know he's still not going to be able to move out, so how is he going to react? How is he going to handle it? We'll have to wait and see.
No, yeah, it definitely looks like very similar paths to start right now. It's, you can't do very much when you're swamp blocked. Zedman's still being very brave with the ghosts, and that definitely is a little nicer when you have a bit of a higher strength, but unfortunately the fire breath will still, send you back to the castle over and over.
One more Drakey to go for JJ, and he's definitely not going to give up on this. I mean, he knows he has no choice, but... It is unfortunate that neither player has found a desert tile or a hill tile to grind on. On the forest tiles, they encounter enemies half as often as on desert tiles. And you can see, I remember at least one of the players trying to use the desert tiles just to the lower right of JJ's screen there. And unfortunately, that's where Zone 2 starts. So they just can't be used to hunt Drakeys.
Yeah, Zone 2 doesn't seem to have anything of use right now, so it looks like we're stuck in the woods for now. Zedman really seems to like that peninsula, JJ sticking close to home, but on the other side of the bridge. JJ just one Drakey away from the next level, and Zedman, I believe, is 10 experience from the next level?
Yep.
Yes, numbers. And a ghost will get you a good chunk of the way there, and he seems to think it is worth the risk, and he does get it.
Yeah, I thought Z-Man would be doing more against ghosts, but his range is only 1 to 3 at the moment. And you can see he's getting Fire Breath in maybe about half of his encounters with ghosts. I definitely still think it's worth it to fight them when the only other option is Drakeys that aren't appearing often. So I like that he's still trying, and I'll be curious to see if JJ has given up on ghosts at level 2 and is just gonna try for a Drakey, or if he still has full HP. Well, he doesn't have full HP anymore, so he probably won't swing at a ghost, but who knows.
But yeah, I think the ghost having a range of about like 1 to 72 probably is an advantage a lot of the time. To be fair, there are a lot of numbers in there that the ghost can't hit, but...
I think JJ might have tried the Zone 2 idea on the far left there, and unfortunately encountered a Magidrakey and is assuming that that zone is the same as the one on the right, and that may be true. So going back to the first zone, looking for another Drakey.
And I think Zedman might have a good chance of getting the ghost maybe on this hit. Nope, never mind. Sorry.
So in Dragon Warrior, enemies have a maximum HP. They can start with as little as 3/4 of that maximum HP, rounded up though. So ghosts have a maximum HP of 7, but they can start with 6. So in fights like this, you never know if they're gonna have 6 or 7, and you just have to wait and find out.
JJ finally found the Drakey, though I feel like he's not going to be too excited when he gets the next level.
So it's been brought up in chat already that it looks like Z-Man's lead is very extensive right now, and in reality it's a little bit deceiving. JJ just got level 3, and should be able to fight ghosts more often. I mean, Z-Man's already gotten a few, and I think JJ will be a little bit more comfortable trying them now. So we'll just have to see once JJ kills like 2 ghosts, we'll see how close it is. I mean, at the moment they're less than 3 ghosts apart, so who knows.
Yeah, I think definitely the more interesting things will start to happen when they actually start to think about breaking out. And Zedman does get another ghost. He is 1 Drakey away from the next level, or a ghost, but he might prioritize them, depends how he's thinking.
Look at Lolo go. So we love harping on the classic chorus that everyone is at risk in these races. We see JJ Schmidt, I believe, fairly higher ranked currently in the SRL rankings. You know, slightly behind in this race. And we already know anything can happen. So this could be level 4 for Z-Man. That'll do it. And we'll see if Z-Man either gets a huge HP gain or a heal spell.
12 power, 3 speed, 4 hit points, and 12 MP, and yet not a spell to use still. Though that strength is going to help a little bit, I think.
Z-Man can now fight everything in the zone, and you see him swinging a Magidrakey already, only with 4 HP, so probably not going to beat it, but he may have a shot here, and gets it with 11! Very nice.
Seemed kind of unlikely, but it was definitely worth the shot. Yeah, there's a lot now, I can't say the world is too wide open because we are probably still stranded in this little patch of land, but at least I'll be able to get some levels faster. And now the Drakey runs away. And the ghost. He might actually have to just fight all these stronger enemies.
I do love reading chat reactions in moments like this. People are talking about how it looks like Z-Man is going to gain a huge lead in time and experience. But as soon as JJ gets to level 4, you're going to see them grow just about evenly, and the difference between them will be somewhat trivial. Z-Man, in reality, is still stuck here fighting on low encounter rate tiles, and chipping away at that next level. So it's still going to take him some time to reach level 5. Yeah, both players still not with a single spell. Let's find out if scorpions have any abilities. I'm not sure if I've seen them fight one yet. It doesn't look like any abilities so far.
Yeah, it's unlikely that they would have fought a scorpion yet, seeing as now we're finally strong enough to do that.
I believe scorpions have a max HP of 13, and Z-Man just did 12 damage to this one before taking it out. The amount of experience exactly put him at level 5. Another 4 power, 1 response speed, 4 HP, 7 MP, and finally a spell is learned, but it's Repel, the exact opposite of what he wanted. But yeah, the good news is that 4 power makes a huge difference. He can reliably two-shot enemies like Magidrakes now. I haven't watched the HP gain too closely, but there is a chance that Z-Man could escape the swamp now.
Yeah, I wonder if he will start to consider that soon. He's up to 32 HP, so I don't think we've seen exactly how far the swamp is, but that's good for, you know, a number of steps.
Only 15 steps survivable at the moment, so probably not going to branch out until the next level. Fortunately, he only needs about 5 or 6 scorpions to get the next level, so it won't take him long. And also, fortunately, JJ is now a ghost away from level 4, at which point he'll be able to make his experience gaining process relatively explode.
There's a question in chat. Do both players have the same increases on level? Yes, they do. There is a little bit of an asterisk to that, which is if you choose a different name, then you can have some different stats. Different names give different stat bonuses, but because the two of them are both using the Big Z, they will be getting the exact same stats throughout the whole seed. So, the bonuses for this name are your Strength and HP, which seems to be the favored one. However, Strength and Agility is also used by some other people. So with these scorpions, Zedman is getting through the levels pretty quickly. We have JJ, who is very close to getting to the next level. I think just 2 Drakies away, or possibly 1 ghost, if is brave.
He's definitely gonna try. He got a 3. Alright, so next attack is gonna do it if he doesn't roll a 1. And there we go, that's what we want to see. Both players are gonna be able to open up quickly now.
Yeah, this is where... Go ahead.
No, that was it.
Alright, this is where things happen, hooray! So yeah, it's gonna be a lot easier now for JJ, and, there is possibly a chance that we will try and see, maybe JJ will want to try and break out into the swamp first when he gets to the next level. We don't know yet.
I'm remembering a seed where there were no towns anywhere near home, and I think it took us until about level 9 before we could really reliably break out. It was another big race, and a couple people got to a town a little bit earlier, but let's see what spell... Oh, there's Heal More, and so everything changes. Suddenly, Z-Man can break out. I thought he was going to refill his magic there, but the reality is he still has tons after using that Heal More, so here we go.
It's time to go on a little adventure.
Now, he also got 10 more power, so there are lots of reasons to explore. There are a few more enemies he can beat, and there are also, obviously, a lot of valuable locations he could find. With 181 gold, he's mainly hoping for keys, but of course he could also luck into something like Erdrick's Sword, which would change the entire game.
So here we are, the Promised Land, or the other side of the swamp. That's a pretty windy swamp we've got there, but so far with only Goldman, he's been able to run from them. And then unfortunately finds a stone man who is going to hit very hard and send him back home.
So already we're going to see a little bit of evening up here, although Z-Man got some valuable exploration out of the way. JJ Schmidt continues to grind away. This Magidrake will put him at level 5, and then again, just 5 Scorpions until level 6.
So yeah, there's about not even 100 experience difference in between the two of them. I suppose actually with this one that'll make it closer to 100. But either way, in the early game, it's Not necessarily as much of a difference. Like when you get to the end game, 100 experiences, one enemy. One mid-sized enemy, even.
I saw that Z-Man learned Hurt, and I didn't say it out loud, but I figured this would be one of those very common instances where players learn Hurt and never use it. Z-Man actually used Hurt on a Druin, and then I figured it wasn't necessary because he could just attack, and he discovered that right after. I don't think he's going to use Hurt again. He seems to be reliably two-shotting the Zone 2 enemies.
So it's looking like Zman is choosing to stay and grind, though now using the desert tiles, which have a much higher encounter rate, and with the higher attack power and also the Hurt spell, it'll be a little more efficient than before.
And jjschmidt just did 7 to a Druin. This is kind of interesting. I think he can grind the Zone 2 enemies to level 6, which is something that Zman didn't do. So it'll be interesting to see if he's able to grind a little bit faster, or if he takes too much damage from them and it won't be quite as worth it as maybe he had hoped. But either way, he's finding a Magidrakey on the way, and that's a big help. Magidrakes have heal more. I'm not sure if we had seen that on either player's screen before.
Yeah, not that I recall, actually. Yeah, looks like now we're both spending some good quality time in the desert. With the high encounter rate, the excellent move on the Druin, that is going to not quite get up to the next level for JJ, but very soon.
This is my kind of seed. I've played so many of these where there don't seem to be any towns nearby, and I just enjoy the process of grinding, knowing that it's the right thing to do and just sticking to it, and eagerly awaiting those beautiful bonuses that get you out of a jam.
Speaking of getting out of a jam, JJ has now also gotten to level 6.
Just like that, there was a point where Z-Man was 2 levels ahead, now both players are on the same level.
However, I think Zman will be leveling up soon again. We're working on it.
And let's see if JJ finds anything valuable on his jaunt of exploration. Well...
Oh. Well then, goodbye.
The Fun Police pack a mighty wallop.
So why do we call them the Fun Police?
Well, first of all, they're the hardest enemy in the game to run from due to their high agility. Secondly, they pack a mighty punch. They're resistant to hurt more. There aren't too many ways to deal with them. And if they are a roadblock in the early game, as we are seeing they might be here, it can be very difficult to get anywhere. So they make the race a lot less fun.
So 6, 14, 6, and 5, I believe I saw for Zman, along with another spell. I believe it was Radiant? Looks like we're getting some Radiant boos in chat. I suppose it's not as useful when you, don't know where any caves are. Looks like JJ is going for another walk.
I like Radiant in the early game, but I find for whatever reason, I try not to use it when I have heal more or hurt more, because I want to try and save as many of those casts as I can, and usually it doesn't end up mattering at all, and I'm just being paranoid.
What if that 2 MP matters later?
Exactly.
Anyway, looks like both players now are heading to the other side of the Frightening Swamp, which actually is quite a few awful things on the other side. But on Zman's screen, we have a town. Unfortunately for him, we also have a Demon Knight.
Yeah, their agility is still fairly low, and unfortunately Zman was unable to get away with even 40 agility.
So we see JJ fighting a Wolf Lord. I assume just south of where he is the town, but a Wolf Lord is an okay fight. It's going to be a lot of healing problem, but it seems like he wants to stick with it and try and get that sweet experience.
This is an enormous discovery and an incredibly brilliant attempt. It was so unfortunate that he took 19 damage here. He had the heal mores to get it done, and unfortunately the Wolf Lord just did a higher end damage attack there after a lot of good patience from JJ on those heal mores. That would have been an excellent opportunity to basically even the experience field.
It looks like both players are... Oh, never mind. JJ is actually just going back to grind another level, and Zman, I think, is going out on an adventure. He saw the town, so he is not going to want to let that go. Alright, prediction. What town are we going to look at?
Oh, so my prediction is going to be drastically different from pre-beta. I think it's going to be Breckenary.
I don't know. I'll go with Coal. Coal is nice. But knowing the seed that I rolled, it might be Hawksness. Got one more chance to roll from the Demon Knight, and it does not work.
That's 5 tries in a row, I believe. Wow, nobody predicting Remolder for the easy save on this ridiculously hard opening.
Oh, there we have one, just as you're saying that.
Jay's knees.
What do we think? Do we want to prolong their suffering?
For the record, I don't think anyone has predicted Garinham. I think that's the only other one.
There you go.
There we go. Good job, MTI. The Demon Knight Border Patrol.
And now that everyone has predicted a town, someone is going to be right.
That's right. There's going to be a winner.
If he could just get around those pesky Demon Knights, he can find what he's looking for.
Here we go.
And we've got... Breckenry!
I know what I'm talking about, folks.
So we're going to see what's for sale here. Anything of note? There's a Silver Shield and Magic Armor, the two most expensive items that you can buy in shops armor-wise.
No purchases yet. It looks like Zman is going to opt for a Dragon Scale and some herbs. I honestly don't know if other runners buy torches. I like to buy a couple. I can do all the caves in the dark, but I do still like to buy a couple. I have no idea what other people do, and maybe we'll see here.
I feel like a fair number of people buy torches, but they also do have Radiant and a lot of MP. Anyway, Zman dons the Scale of the Dragon, a very important part of this game, and sells it back. You still get to keep your bonus, but it frees up an inventory space. And in terms of this, can actually just make you money to buy something else.
I really like the fact that we're seeing this. I cannot remember the last time I sold something early on to buy something else, that like other than a cursed belt. I don't know how long it's been since I did it with a Dragon Scale, and it's really neat that that just happened, in my opinion.
So he takes one more peek at the shop, and then moves on, probably going to see what else is in the neighborhood.
Running from an Axe Knight first try, a nice refreshing change after those Demon Knights.
Wow, so all of the bad enemies are like right on the other side of the swamp bridge.
And you can already see, JJ has not only evened up experience, but if he beats this Wolf Lord, he's going to take the lead for the first time in this seed.
I don't believe he's seen the town yet, but it's not... I wouldn't call anything from that town a large advantage unless, no, JJ doesn't even have that much money to be able to buy much of anything. Oh, but the Wyvern has Sleep and Dragon Lord Breath. Oh my gosh. That is not the combination you want to see.
Fortunately, Wyverns won't be scary for long. Once they either learn Hurt more or get a few more levels and gain their agility, Wyverns won't be any concern at all. Up to NG pointing out that there wasn't a single weapon for sale in Breckenary, so imagine getting there early and still not being able to improve your strength if the swamp hadn't been a roadblock. That could have been frustrating.
I don't know, I'm seeing all these trees. Can't they just like break a branch off and like poke something with it?
I mean, that makes more sense to me than buying a bamboo pole.
But they're practically free. Maybe that's what the shopkeepers do as well to get them.
Here, I found this out in the woods somewhere. Only 10 gold.
Sold! So we're asked in chat, should they be grinding wolf lords? That's a very open question, actually. Based on the damage you take from them, it still can be risky, but they can also be rewarding as well, so it really just depends on your strategy. Zedman is taking the very safe grind right now, but you could also look for other enemies. The skeleton is probably a very good choice because it'll not do quite as much damage as the wolf lord, but it'll still give you a decent number of experience.
I can say that, personally, I would be going after Wolf Lords right now if they were easy to encounter. With all those heal mores, again, JJ exhibited the patience required, and he caught up in experience. I would definitely try the same thing.
Yeah, JJ's find of that skeleton was really good. It's, I mean, too bad for them that the skeleton was in the swamp. So let's see, JJ can only afford clothing, and is probably cursing me silently for, you know, rolling this seed with no weapon in the nearest town, but I'm sorry, folks, I just worked my magic.
So after all this time, a piece of weapon or armor has finally been purchased. JJ has the clothes.
So what kind of clothing does a dog buy?
Oh, it's gotta be some sort of sweater.
Oh, like one of those little puppy sweaters that you put on them in the winter.
That doesn't really have long enough sleeves.
And booties for the paws, exactly.
Lagbot, that is the most amazing idea I've ever heard for a randomizer.
The menu should say bark instead of talk. I love it. Now, don't even get me started on what kind of clothing Lola would wear. Maybe a fancy hat?
Yeah, like his cousin, the poltergeist.
Alright, so after a bit of shopping now, JJ is going off to the great outdoors, using the other exit.
I didn't see JJ equip the dragon scale, but I'm just going to assume he did, because that's something he would do.
Excuse me, you do not equip the dragon scale, you don
it.
A very important definition. Unfortunately, the Axe Knight had other things to say to JJ, which I think the words were, go home.
So yeah, while there are a lot of Charlock enemies, I want to point out again that a lot of them are susceptible to Hurtmore. We've seen a lot of Axe Knights and Green Dragons. Hurtmore not guaranteed to show up until as late as level 16 when the players do learn any spells that they haven't previously learned. But once they do, that area is going to be a lot more fun to traverse.
Fun for real, or fun the fun police way?
For real.
Yay, for real!
And you see JJ once again going after dangerous, bigger encounters for bigger amounts of experience. And there, he knew that he could cast Hurt and defeat that Druin Lord. Didn't even bother to heal more first, and took it down.
And I'm just gonna take a moment here to say, Dazak103, thank you so very much for the 12-month sub. Very much appreciated. Welcome to the Dragon Warrior Randomizer race.
Oh, this is interesting. JJ is getting a little too brave for my liking. He's trying to use Hurt against a Wraith Knight. And this is where Hurt's probability of hitting starts to decrease just a little bit. I'm not crazy about this one, but if he gets the lucky Hurt hits, it'll pay off. But he's running low. He only has one heal more left, and it's just doing too much damage, unfortunately. So he does run, and I think he'll just head back to Brecconary for a quick heal.
Well, I think JJ really just wants to find some, bigger enemies than what's in the beginning. Like, he saw skeletons, he saw wolf lords. He wants a piece of that. He already had one taste. Dog wants another bone.
Now here comes level 8 for Zman, who has also been fairly patient, staying back and showing restraint in that zone 2.
So 3 power, 1 speed, 7 hit points, 9 MP. That's not very much of anything.
Still no big change.
The MP is definitely a lot higher than the others, and it is nice to have high MP when you heal more, but at the same time, it doesn't get you going very far. When you don't have the other stats to sort of help keep you alive.
Another big try for jjschmidt. Hurt is going to work every time against a Droll Magi, and they do way less damage than a Wraith Knight, so this is certainly a battle he knows he's going to win. It's not going to quite give him level 8, but the next battle afterwards will.
And hey look, it's the fun police in the swamp. What a theme!
Go Zman, don't stop!
So JJ, just 2 experience away from level 8 as well. We've gotten very even over here. And this magician will give the level.
So why not take a single swipe at it for the level?
And he keeps grinding here. I think he might just found a few enemies that he likes, though he does remember, unfortunately, the sleep in the Dragon Lord breath from the Wyvern, and will be taking another trimmed home.
I feel like it was 20 minutes ago when I mentioned that Zman had reached 40 agility, and now we see both players at 41 agility. Still not much of a help in getting away from dangerous enemies such as the Wyvern.
But I think both players are just really itching to get out and, find something new. Looks for I think from what I've seen, there's nowhere to go but south from Breckenridge, so that's sort of going to be, the hub. The next hub, rather, after, the Swamp Bridge.
And now we see Zman starting to exhibit the bravery on Wolf Lords, and there's a nice, excellent move to speed up that battle. He's going to use Heal More and continue exploration.
JJ was really thinking about that green dragon there. And is trying to go for the hurt spell. Now, I thought the green dragon had something bad, and it's hurt more. There it is. How do you combat that? Well, I suppose with stop spell, but they don't have that yet.
Yeah, green dragon's definitely out of their league at level 8 in this seed.
Yeah, they're pretty tricky. I think even the physical attack would be a little bit much for what they've got going on right now.
I like this play from Zman here. He took a shot at the Wraith Knight, and seeing that it was doing too little damage, he lost over half his HP in one attack, and patiently cast a Heal More before trying to run. I like that.
Alright, so Zman returns to town, I assume with some money.
Chainmail.
Yes. Lolo wearing the chainmail. Don't know how it works, but hey. Some defense.
I think his walking pattern is much more accurate now that we know he's wearing chainmail.
The waddling?
Yes.
I guess, is it a little bit big?
It's just a little clunky and awkward to walk with. I always remember in the instruction manual, they said that the hand axe was powerful, though it's difficult to wield. And when I read that as a kid, I always assumed that it meant something, like that you would hit enemies less often or something. Every time I saw an enemy dodge, I thought, well, that makes sense. I have the hand axe.
I love that. Hey, a wolf. Now that's going to be pretty good, I think.
Just about the best enemy they can fight right now. Only Wolf Lords are better now that they're actually, they have a little bit more HP.
But wolves have heal more. Ouch, that's going to be a little bit of a bugger.
Unfortunate, and Zman doesn't try to chip through it with lucky quantity rolls. Oh my.
So we've got a metal slime on JJ's side. They do have hurt and, running powers. So why'd that metal slime run?
Well, you see, metal slimes are very weak, and enemies in Dragon Warrior Randomizer will run when you get a lot stronger than they are, essentially. In this game, once you reach 20 strength, metal slimes have the ability to run away from you. And I gotta just comment, with 9 heal mores, I'm honestly surprised a little bit that we didn't see JJ just start pacing back and forth in the swamp, hoping for another one. Not that it would have been a good play, I just...
Admit it, you like me, just love watching the swamp happen.
I can't deny it. The only thing I don't like is not being able to get out of Tentagel alive. Other than that, you know, I don't mind if it brings you down to 1 HP and there's a little bit of challenge to it.
So we're just wandering around still, seeing what we can do out here. Zedman with a slight defense advantage, but other than that, manipulating a run from the Red Dragon. Command? Command?
Wow.
You might need a lesson in commanding. Good times.
So this is the kind of race where both racers might be sweating in terms of, you know, wondering how far ahead their opponent could be. Little do they know that they are both experiencing similar difficulties and are very close together at this moment. But yeah, the Wolf Lords are out there. The best enemies, the best enemy that both players have found. Very little exploration has happened because of the difficult enemies all over the field. I would not be the least bit surprised if at least one of them went over to the Wolf Lord Desert in the upper right corner of the map.
It's also kind of hard to decide what to do in this sort of situation, though. Like, if you're racing and, you know, you want to beat your opponent and you're 45 minutes in and thinking, I'm only this far. That might make you want to worry and maybe make some rash decisions. It depends if you know, change your regular course or just stick with what you know and go with it.
Weak breath from the Droll Magi's not a danger. Of course, Zedman is going to pad his HP, knowing that that breath is there. And he does take 2 more breaths. So he's going to heal more again and be safe, make sure that there's no possibility of the Droll Magi dodging this last attack. Oh, it wasn't the last attack. Wow, the damage range is a little lower than I expected. And he took a risk there, wow!
Very close there, but managed to stay alive, has another heal more, and maybe this will be the hit.
Look at how close together they are. These 2 enemies give nearly the same amount of experience, so once the Wolf Lord goes down, again, both players will be approximately equal.
Yeah, JJ has gotten back to the Wolf Den and is finding some Wolf Lords, though unfortunately Demon Knights exist now, though they are very valuable.
I think there's nothing better as a viewer than watching a race where things are clearly difficult and you know both players are going to be worried about the other player getting something and jumping way ahead, and yet in reality both players are exactly together, both in experience and exploration. I have no idea what's going to happen in this race.
Yeah, I mean, for a while now, they've only been, like, you know, a couple enemies apart here and there.
It looks like JJ's finally strong enough to tackle a Wraith Knight, and it looks like it's going to happen. Oh, it looks like 1 more hurt has to land, so there's going to be a heal more first. Oh no, he used hurt first and it hit! So there you go.
And then he used hurt on the desert. Not always recommended. He'll probably go back to town to heal, I assume. Meanwhile, Zedman is trying to cover some more land and see what can be found. I feel like a Rogue Scorpion could be a fun decision if you had a little more MP, but with only 8, he's not going to be able to do very much with that.
It would be enough. 4 hurts, I think, would do it most of the time. Oh, here's a new town. But unfortunately...
Woo!
Oh, wow, it's Townsville.
It's Townsville.
So yeah, he realizes he can't do much with Cantlin right now. No money and no keys for the coordinates, so he's going to check the other one, and we have Garinham.
So unfortunately not very much you can do here at all. Both places have, you know, furthering the game content when you have keys, but unfortunately neither of those can be accessed right now. So aside from staying at the inn and maybe seeing what's for sale, you can not do very much. So we've got a bamboo pole or a broadsword. Might go back to Cantland and see, but I don't believe I saw him having too much money.
Zedman bravely opting to not put up the 10 gold for the bamboo pole, looking for something better.
Yeah, I guess at this point the copper sword at 180 is only the most expensive item you can get. Oh gosh, I didn't know that about magicians.
I don't think anyone did to this point. Magicians also join their wyvern brethren with sleep and dragonlord breath.
And both players are sent home at the exact same time. See where they go.
The experience race is still neck and neck, and both players are very soon going to discover what level 9 has in store.
And we'll see what they choose to do. If they're so close, they may opt to just fight some simpler enemies here just to get it done, but they also might be itching to get out in the big world and see what's there.
We just saw about 5 Druins in a row on both screens cumulatively. Wow, bad luck on that hurt rolling the minimum 9 roll when Magidrake's, their max is somewhere around 12 or 13. Zedman finds a Wolf Lord. I didn't know they appeared in this area, and this is a lucky find. He hesitated for a second, but he knows he can beat it, and this is going to give him level 9. I think he was just trying to decide between attacking and using hurt.
I guess maybe it's just been a little rare on this side because of the plains tiles, but looks like JJ is headed back to where he has been, you know, grinding a few enemies lately, so I think both players will see level 9 very soon.
JJ boldly going for yet another Wraith Knight, and that would even out the experience entirely. Let's see what level 9 has.
So what do we have? 17 power, 6 speed, 2 hit points, 1 MP,
No spell.
and no spell. The 17 power will help, but probably not quite as much as other things that they would have wanted to see.
Yeah, 17 power is similar to getting a hand axe, and with no hurt more spell, these players are looking forward to now overpowering the hurt spell, which I think is going to be the new norm. Here we go, JJ being careful again, using a heal more, looking for the time to use that last attack, and I was surprised he didn't use hurt there actually. He goes for it now, and this should be enough. No! It wasn't enough. That's unfortunate.
Now, some people did mention in chat fighting a gold man. It's something you don't really see very often because I believe they only give 6 experience. Zedman does know that the broadsword exists. However, still fighting a gold man in this situation for money would be a little bit dangerous just because you are dying quite a bit still. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, whenever you die in this game, there is no experience punishment, but you lose half of your gold every single time. So if you're trying to save your money, it's very difficult when you don't have much way of getting rid of the more powerful enemies.
JJ's torment continues as a green dragon prevents him from progressing past the swamp. And now JJ taking a brief pause, might have to run away to grab some water or something, but he's back.
Run away to grab some water? Oh gosh, I'm not staying hydrated.
And you can see on Zedman's side, with just a little bit more HP and defense, Wraith Knights are already a lot easier. There's a missed hurt spell. That's something that I always worry about even when I have hurt more against Wraith Knights. Let's see a few more attacks. This time he does 12, so there is a chance that attacking is just about as good as using the hurt spell.
And that can probably be a bit of relief too. Less manuing to do and more MP for your heal spell.
Attacking is also slightly quicker, and I think it's more likely to hit a Wraith Knight than the hurt spell as well. Wow, another green dragon. Oh, but it casts Stop Spell, and JJ gets away to his relief. I can't imagine what it's like for two racers to be sweating here as they're nearing the hour mark and both are around 1,000 experience. And they've both found a few great enemies to fight and have been able to explore a little bit, but you know, they've seen a lot of tough enemies that have been holding them back.
Yeah, it seems no matter which way they go, there's always something that they either can't run from or will just take them out in one hit. It's a little bit tricky out here, but they're slowly making their way through the world. One more enemy for JJ to get the next level.
Now, I always worry when I can't find a town in... I recently played a seed where I didn't find the first town for 47 minutes. In this seed, neither player has found a cave, and it's been almost an hour. Imagine how worried they are. Maybe, you know, there's a magic key in the mountain cave or Erdrick's sword. Who knows?
So Zedman, in theory, has enough money for a hand axe. Canlin has 2 accessible shops right now. I'm just wondering if that could be on his mind to check them now that he's got a little bit more than 200 gold.
JJ Schmidt, meanwhile, saying finally, as he reaches level 9 and sees that 17 power gain, that's going to make the Wolf Lords a lot easier, among other things. It looks like he's actually... Oh no, I don't think he's actually going for the Demon Knight.
They're just tricky to run from. Still just chipping away at the experience that we can get from things.
Such bad luck again for JJ. Once again stopped by a green dragon right outside of Breckenary. He's gonna have to spend an extra 30 seconds or so walking out to that zone.
30 seconds? You forgot all the small little enemies he's going to encounter along the way.
30 seconds plus the encounters is absolutely right.
Nice peninsula with a bridge on the end, but unfortunately for Zedman, nothing on that side. So Zedman taking away with a little bit of a lead here. I know the chainmail could help a tiny bit, but probably not quite very much. Getting a lot of good luck on the little encounters here, too. And we're back to Townsville. Will he look for a hand axe?
I think so.
That or he could also afford a large shield if there is not one. But I see a hand axe. And he purchases it.
So that is once again huge. In a seed with no hurt more when power gains are not quick, it's going to help a lot against enemies like Wolf Lords. And Wraith Knights. Another red dragon sending JJ Schmidt back to the start yet again. I can imagine the frustration he's experiencing right now. But he is not far behind at all, and it is not going to take much for him to reach the point that Zedman is at as well in experience.
And again, Zedman is sent home this time by the blue dragon. It's a good thing he at least spent some of that money. JJ really trying to run from the stone man eventually is able to. Their agility isn't quite so high. So off we go again, across the swamp. See what we can find. And unfortunately for JJ, yet another red dragon sends him home. That has got to be pretty frustrating.
Up to NG pointing out in chat that with the hand axe now, Zedman should start using Repel, and he does. So our racers are thinking very similarly along those lines.
So we're visiting Breckenry again. I think they're going to get some very good business today. Lots of tourism. Lolo continues to waddle down the world. I think we're about 200, just under 200 experience away from the next level. If we get some slightly friendly enemies, Zedman should be able to get there relatively, but we know we've got kind of a mix of what's actually going on this area of land.
You know, I've seen a lot of races. I don't think I've ever seen one in history where in 1 hour, no player found a single cave. This is just amazing.
I mean, I know there's a cave in the back of the castle.
Yeah, but they haven't found it.
They know it's there. They cannot access it, though.
And yeah, also being at level 9 with only 1,000 and a bit experience. Again, I've said it enough already, but both players must be worrying so much about where the other is. JJ, without a hand axe, still using Hurt against Wraith Knights, and unfortunately, the Wraith Knight does the exact amount of damage required to take him down. 26, that was way in the upper range of his damage range at that point. That was really unlucky.
There's just so many big enemies that they can't run from. And there's only, even with Heal More, there's only so much that you can do just trying to, you know, get your way around the map and get away from everyone.
I was a little surprised to see Zedman run from the Rogue Scorpion. Just might not have thought of the fact that he could use 3 or 4 hurts and take it down and use intermittent heal mores to get it done. But on the other hand, he might be trying to really conserve his experience to get some major exploration done at this point.
Now, we haven't seen a whole lot of the map yet. Again, as we said, no caves, though 3 towns to be spoken for. That's half of them.
Half the towns, none of the caves. Although, as Sparkover pointed out, both indoor caves, their locations are known to Zedman.
To be fair, though, Tantagel Cave's location is always known. You're in trouble if you don't know where that one is. Zedman is pulling away in experience just a little bit, with the minor differences of the chainmail versus the clothes, and then also having the hand axe over, well, the fists, or the paws, I should say. It's going to help a little bit, though still, they are both experiencing the same, you know, worries of not being able to actually get anywhere, thanks to some of our larger enemies.
Christoborg mentioning it took him hours to find Tantagel Cave as a kid. I'll one-up you there, Christoborg. It took me probably weeks. I have vivid memories of searching just random tiles and trying to, like, I never searched every square, but I remember searching big portions of the ground in Tantagel, because I heard that hint that will find the Stones of Sunlight in Tantagel if thou hast not found them yet. And I just couldn't imagine, you know, I thought I'd seen everything, so I thought I'd try searching the ground. I can't imagine how long it took me before I finally got into that cave.
I wish I had, like, any memories of my first Dragon Warrior playthrough, and I say that as a thing that only happened about 5 years ago. I just don't remember very much of it. But gosh, what a special feeling to actually, you know, find your way around the outside of that cave, or the castle, rather, for the first time.
So after all this time, after the big power gains, Zedman getting a hand axe, we have been stuck at level 9 for a long time, but it looks like Zedman is finally going to break through, and we are going to see what level 10 has in store.
I'm ready for double digits. Alright, so Courage and Wit, folks, we have got 8 power, 4 response speed, 0 HP, 6 MP and a spell. Looks like it's heal.
Heal is good here. It's great for conserving magic. You know, they don't have to use heal more to gain almost their full complement of HP, so it's gonna be a good magic conservation tool for Zman at the moment. Another red dragon for JJ, and it's unfortunate to see, like, I've seen that 1097 experience total for quite a while now. Just really unfortunate luck on that side.
And as mentioned in chat, actually, and yes, I did miss it unfortunately, but hey, you all caught it for me because your lovely stop spell was also learned, which can be very good for fighting the green dragons.
I don't think the bracket is, it's not on Challenge, and I don't think it's publicly posted anywhere. The round 1 matches were announced tonight. But yeah, 32 different matches, and we won't know what the pairings are for round 2 until all 32 matches are complete, which will happen over the course of the next week.
But as put in the command in chat there, the tournament spreadsheet is available there. Thank you, Moobot and CD Improv. A lot of the matches, I assume, still are yet to be scheduled, but pretty much as the Swiss rounds go, you know, there will be a different matchup for everybody every week, and there will most likely be some races every single night spread among a few different channels, hoping to get a good amount on RPG Limit Break here, some as well on Randomania. And the times will vary, but all the information will be on that spreadsheet.
Expect a busy week. There are going to be days that have to have at least 4 or 5 races, and because, you know, today is the first day and the bracket's being announced in the evening, there aren't going to be too many matches tonight. There are going to be a lot of matches as the week progresses, so lots of Dragon Warrior Randomizer goodness for everyone to enjoy over the next week.
Yeah, I suppose with 64 players, that means 32 matches. And with doing 3 tonight, how many matches per day is that, NESCardinality?
Well, at least 4.
Oh, gosh!
There are going to be some days with at least 5, for sure, even with totally even distribution.
So it's being asked in chat about how long this is expected to take. I feel like an hour 30 to an hour 45 is probably what people would consider the average, but this seed is definitely a little pokier than normal.
This seed has all the makings of having potential to go about 2 hours. I don't think it would be much longer than that. You know, both players, despite their difficulties, they've found some things they can fight, and they're progressing. Wow, jjschmidt it really hasn't fallen that far behind considering that terrible luck with the red dragons and green dragons and everything else. He's gonna get to level 10 very soon, and you can see he appears to be sticking to that valuable desert with Wraith Knights and Wolf Lords to accomplish that goal. So I don't think it'll take very long.
So we're just chugging along here. This is sort of what happens when you're at a little bit of a standstill. You know, you can really just do your best. JJ choosing to grind a little bit more, probably in hopes that the next level will bring something good. And Zman trying to break out and find something new. And, well, that's a lot of the time just going to come down to exactly who he encounters along the way. And yeah, things can definitely, you know, take a turn. I mean, I feel like, you know, if they were to learn Hurt more very soon, then things could move very quickly. However, just the lack of HP and things that they can run from are kind of slowing them down a bit. And unfortunately, the Axe Knight says hurt more. Do you say your spell names? I don't know. And is sent back home again. A lot of repetition here we are having, unfortunately. JJ is creeping closer to the next level. Now, this will bring us within 100 points, or experience. I suppose they're points. They're experience points.
Unfortunately, a Wolf Lord won't be quite enough, but that's fine. Of course, this is still a really valuable encounter, so JJ will take it and then maybe fight something weaker, possibly on his way back to Brecconary.
Kind of funny too. Like, in some situations, if you're like too experienced shy of a level, you're like, gosh, I should have killed that slime from earlier. I don't think we've seen any non-metal slimes.
That's true.
You can't even blame them.
One single metal slime and absolutely zero thought of going back and grinding for them, which is really interesting. If you look at the experience counts, only 6 or 7 metal slimes total in experience gained by either player. It is a little bit surprising that that option hasn't even been considered. Only one metal slime has been seen, as far as I know so far.
So JJ making his way up to the armor shop. I think it's time to buy the chainmail. Yes, it is.
It just might be time.
And even gets a discount on the doggy clothes. So he's still behind by a weapon, but now their defense is going to be the same. I mean, agility from levels being the difference maker there, but the equipment is the same.
And here we go, the Wraith Knight that's going to put JJ over the top into level 10.
Ooh.
I was wrong.
Or not, unfortunately.
I'm always surprised when Hurt does low damage and just barely doesn't do enough.
Poor JJ, but any enemy over here is going to help. Watch as I say that, and the one blue slime actually appears. Nah, he wants that level. He knows that anything here is going to just get him to the next level and see what it brings for him, which will give some decent power, I know, but I think the rest of it wasn't too exciting. So we continue.
I think he learned outside, which is pretty useless when you can't find a cave in an hour and 11 minutes.
No, I think this was the heal and stop spell level.
Oh, yeah.
Outside was a little bit before. But yes, I mean, the point is still definitely well delivered.
Well, JJ Schmidt is in the Metal Slime Zone. I forget who saw it.
I believe it was JJ. Christoborg says in chat, can we maybe learn inside to warp to a cave? That would be interesting.
Yeah, this is definitely... There's no doubt in my mind that this is a record for not seeing a cave in a seed. And it's both players, it's not just one.
Zedman queuing up the manipulation, but unfortunately it did not work.
There it goes.
Ah, he learned. Beautiful. Just scooting up. Very soon we'll be hitting the next level. If he gets the right sort of mid-sized enemies, then we will get there.
Wow, Zedman again trying to run away from a Rogue Scorpion. I'm definitely surprised on that one.
Yeah, maybe he just doesn't think they're very easily beatable right now. I mean, it still would be a little bit of work, but maybe he just really wants to kill the easier things. So I think I'd probably put it on about the same page as a Wraith Knight in terms of difficulty.
And he's really strong. He just did 27 to a Wraith Knight. This is definitely a time when he can fight all those mid-range enemies. Oh, he's taking a swing at a wyvern. I don't know if he actually saw that they have sleep and Dragon Lord Breath, but he's gonna find out now.
Yeah, that's too bad for him, but, you know, back to the walk that we've seen plenty of times.
Next time he could use Stop Spell and hope that he sees 2 sleeps, which does seem likely because it looks like there's 75% sleep as well as 75% breath. And the sleep is the one that would happen first, and is therefore much more likely. It has been a long fight to claw for both players to claw from level to level. Here's another red dragon for Zman this time. And he
the
gets
manipulation
away.
works.
I think he's learned how to manipulate, folks.
It's 6 commands to get away from the red dragon.
The world record for longest without caves continues to rise. There's the Stop Spell on Green Dragon, somewhat ironically preventing them from casting Stop Spell on you. And now a Green Dragon is fully fightable. And this is going to be very valuable for Zman.
Yeah, little, you know, tricks like this can help you fight enemies that you might not consider otherwise.
Granted, they do also have Hurt More, but either way, it's preventing them from attacking, essentially, because once Stop Spell would work, they could attack you and you wouldn't be able to heal more.
So let's see our next level at 11. We've got 12 power, 3 speed, 5 hit points, 0 MP, and there's Hurt More. Well, friends, it's going to heat up a little here. So, NESCardinality, for those who aren't as familiar, what does Hurt More do?
Hurt More does a truckload of damage. It's almost like Dragon Lord Breath. Its range is 58 to 65 damage, which will kill all those mid-range enemies, and has a decent chance of killing Axe Knights, Green Dragons, and Star Wyverns in one hit. So it is very valuable, and if you know which enemies are susceptible to it, which it's not a long list of enemies that resist it well, you're going to be on your way to a lot of very fast experience. So things are going to speed along here for Zman, and if JJ once again grinds quickly to level 11, both players are gonna... I mean, it's gonna be impossible to tell what's gonna happen in this race.
I mean, you know, in general, the first person to learn Hurt More is definitely going to have an advantage, but I believe they're only about like 600 points apart or so experience-wise, and that's only a few enemies with Hurt More, so I think they're close enough that a lot of this is probably just going to come down to exploration. Zman does have a couple towns in knowledge, but other than that, they're pretty close to each other.
JJ requiring less than 400 experience to go until that crucial level. And we'll just have to see what he encounters on the way. He is clearly looking for new exploration at this point. And hopefully he gets good enemies to boost him up to level 11 quickly.
So Demon Knight, definitely one of those things you can't cast Hurt More on. I mean, technically you could, but its odds of hitting are what, 1 in 16?
Yeah.
So you don't wanna be trying that casually.
And finally, JJ lashing out at a Rogue Scorpion. Again, I think this is a favorable battle, although I don't think he knows they have Stop Spell, but he hasn't tried to use Stop Spell yet against JJ, so this might just work anyway. Oh, there's the first Stop Spell. But he could try attacking here. Oh, he tried to run.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much damage he's done exactly so far, but now that he knows that, it'll definitely help. He can use that for the future.
Another red dragon for JJ, but he manages to run away first try this time.
That's gotta feel a lot nicer on his side, considering all the other ones that gave him trouble.
JJ has branched out wildly, and still... We're going on 80 minutes here, folks. No caves. How big is this map? Seriously, Sparkover, how big is this map?
Oh gosh, you think I know numbers about this game? It's about this big, if you can see me stretching my arms out as far as possible.
If you could see, if there were a camera on, you would see that Sparkover is stretching exactly 120 by 120 tiles.
It's true. Whoa, wait a second. Do you see that on the bottom of JJ's screen?
It's happened!
Folks, an hour, 19 minutes, and 27 seconds in, we saw a cave!
Alright, place your bets quickly because JJ's gonna get into that cave quickly. Which one is it?
Come on, you can do it. You want this cave, you're hungry for this cave,
The
and you
first
get...
predictions were the jerk cave, but it's dark.
I think...
It's mountain.
Okay.
Oh, unless it's swamp south, but I think mountain. Take some more steps. Yeah,
That looks like
mountain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are the movements of Mountain Cave. So what's in Mountain Cave?
There are 5 treasure chests. This is one of 2 caves that has 5 treasure chests. And it is the shorter one, and it also doesn't require a key to navigate. So JJ will definitely be looking for a key here. He'd also be really happy to find Erdrick's sword. But unfortunately, another red dragon taking him out before he could check a single chest.
I remember, like, 3 minutes ago when we were young and innocent and so excited to see our first cave.
And now look at us. Older and jaded.
The red dragon's getting us again. But he did find it, and the mountain cave is very important because, as you said, 5 chests. There is a lot of potential.
Up to NG remarking that this seed could go for 2 hours, and for the first time, I totally agree with that notion. I think it's starting to look more likely at this point.
And it's true, it wasn't even a 3-minute, it was 1 minute difference. It was just such an exciting moment that time stopped for a second for me. I have some very good news for you, Wells. Dragon Warrior Randomizer is doing a very good job of winning right now. It's been an evil seed. What are our odds of a Gwaelin sighting, we are asked? We honestly don't know yet, just because we have no information on coordinates or keys. So right now, 0, but we'll see how that changes in the future.
I want to say if the armor is on the map, there's a fairly good chance, but of course it would have to have a little bit of distance from home. We'll just have to wait and see.
Too many commands there on Zedman's side and was not able to run. Aligarbrap has the actual stats in chat 50-50. She's either getting saved or she's not.
Schrodinger's Gwaelin is correct. Both players just getting taken down over and over again. Nice to see repel as an option. Thank goodness they have that. Thank goodness they have that much.
So how are we doing here? Zedman is slowly, I think about 250-ish experience away from the next level.
Yeah.
And JJ is probably similar to his as well. Just about. So yeah, the experience lead on Zedman's side definitely has grown. Hurtmore is, you know, all to be thanked for that. But JJ at least has something else in mind. The cave.
The cave.
The cave. We do know that there's a lot of potential in it. It's just getting there and knowing red dragons are there. Knowing red dragons are on the way there. It's kind of sad. They're just there, and you can't do anything about them.
I would not be the least bit surprised if, at this very moment, both players are looking over, wondering, expecting their opponent to see a finish from their opponent, like, any second now. When in reality, they could be a far way away. Here's level 12 for Zman.
5 power, 2 speed, 2 hit points, 1 MP, and a new spell, and can we even really learn anything that we're really excited for?
I think Return was the only thing left.
We learned Return. Lacking Sleep still, but, yeah, there was... Hey, a slime! An hour and 24 minutes in, and that might be our first blue slime.
I think so. Oh wow, Zman trying a hurt more manipulation on a wizard. That would have been really cool if it worked.
Yeah, wizards are another one that resist hurt more a fair amount, so you don't really want to be risking that.
Yeah, with 56 agility, Zman definitely should have tried to run there. JJ, one enemy away from learning Hurt More. And we'll see what he does with it. Is there a huge comeback in the midst? Zman's lead has been growing, but that's only because he has Hurt More at the moment. We'll just have to wait and see what happens once JJ learns it.
Some people in chat here are talking about how that might have just been a miss menu. Very occasionally, somebody will select Hurt More instead of Heal More. I wonder if that's ever happened on this channel before. By, say, me.
I honestly assumed it wasn't a miss menu because of the manipulations that were happening before it.
That was my thought, but who knows? We're all here to have fun. So as far as the searchable tiles go, Erdrick's armor, the token, and the fairy flute can all be in one of 3 different search spots. However, the token and the flute also have the option of being in a chest, rather. The armor, though, is always going to be in one of the search spots. So, as was asked in chat, there is a man in Callan who will tell you the coordinates, and if you think that's hard to get to, you can rescue the princess, and she will give you, after saving her, what we call the GPS, the Gwaelin Positioning System, which you can use to figure out where your coordinates are in comparison to the castle.
Oh man, Zarnax, I've done the accidental return when aiming for repel because I just learned Hurt More or something like that.
Yes, that's also happened. So Garion asks in the chat, is there anything that'll level up to make the seed start going faster? And yeah, pretty much the answer is, at this point, the level ups aren't going to matter a whole lot other than some bonus HP to help them stay alive. But otherwise, Hurt More is pretty much the next big bonus you can get.
And JJ is finally about to learn it. I was 100 experience off before, but he learns it now.
And also, yes, as noted in chat, as I was yammering on, Zman gets the large shield. And now I think JJ's gonna start going zoom.
So yes, there is about an entire level in between them right now, but with JJ learning Hurt More, knowing where the mountain cave is, and being a very experienced DWR player, anything can happen, and this is still anyone's race, an hour and a half in, which is almost unprecedented.
And now with Hurt More being, the thing that was the biggest difference maker in between the two of them, it can potentially be a way for JJ to catch up. A lot of it really does now come down to how the exploration goes.
Is it possible for Zman to be ahead in exploration in an hour and a half and not have found a single cave? Like, we must have missed something, right?
I don't know, but I see a metal slime on JJ's side.
This would be the dream for helping to catch up. They have Hurt, which is at this point inconsequential. He's still there.
Gets a second attack on it.
He's still there.
Does he do it?
Still there.
Still there. And
Yes!
he gets it.
What I'm rooting for, of course, is the experience that tries to even them out a little bit.
Yes. It's always exciting to be able to watch somebody fall behind and then, pull back and, fight for what they're getting. And it looks like I think he's tempted at the metal slime territory, especially now that with Hurt more, the other enemies will be a little more viable.
Finding an Axe Knight already, and this is a very likely one-hit kill with Hurt more, and he gets it. And you can see the experience gap has already narrowed considerably. JJ's grinding tech here is working perfectly. A one-shot to a green dragon, always nice to see. Zedman's continuing to do extensive exploration without finding a cave after an hour and a half. I cannot imagine what it would be like to play this seed in a race. Dog learned bite more.
It's like the first bite, but a little more pressure.
We talked a little bit last year about how the orange values in the stats that you're seeing at the bottom of the screen...
They can't see them.
Oh.
Wait, yes they can. Never mind.
Okay.
Hi, don't listen to me. I'm gonna leave now, bye.
I mentioned last year how the ranges are way too wide to be significant, and unfortunately it looks like they haven't changed yet, so that's something to think about for the future. We're seeing orange values that really don't mean anything yet. Like, I noticed the agility turned orange at 40, and that just doesn't mean a thing. We're seeing similar things for... I mean, the current strength values and MP values, those are pretty good for orange, but I don't know exactly when they started.
Well, I mean, clearly that says 54 agility is, alright. Right?
Sparkover is a big fan of going with low agility, claiming it doesn't matter as much as people think it does. And she's had some success with that line of thought, so I can't blame her.
Subscribe to my newsletter. Anyway, we are in the mountain cave here.
Zedman has found a cave. Glorioski. No, don't go first, Wyvern. That's evil.
So unfortunately, I actually did miss the first chest with that, but in the second chest we've got a fighter's ring. Get an herb. A torch. Oh, it was a belt. Beautiful. The cursed belt is a really good item. It curses you, and then you can never go into the castle again. Wait. So the bottom item we have is... the Stones of Sunlight. It is a key item, but unfortunately not exactly what he's probably really looking for at the moment.
Zedman, of course, not death warping because there's no gold grind without a key. And Zedman has located Sharlock. It has taken this long for both players to find the largest location in the game.
The Big C. Can we start calling it that? No, I should see myself out again.
Well, the moat is in the shape of a C. That's not bad.
All right, Big C is on.
I think it's gonna stick. I really think it will.
Welcome to the Dragon Warrior Randomizer Tournament 2019. We have the Big C. So look, another cave.
Suddenly the caves are gonna start pouring in.
Yeah, you know how sometimes when you don't find any towns and then you find a lot of towns? Is it the grave? It's the grave.
It is the grave. So another 5 chests, although if there isn't a key upstairs, only 3 will be accessible at this time. But of course, Zedman is very strongly hoping that one of these chests is a key.
And we've got gold. We've got a dragon scale, and we've got gold.
Wow.
So unfortunately not quite what he's looking for. I mean, a broadsword. Hey, there's another cave over there. Oh my gosh.
Runs away from a red dragon and makes it to the cave.
And here we have...
Tablet? Or swamp.
Swamp South. Are we going to play the old backdoor trick?
Oh my, this could lead to a lot of important things.
Or it could just lead to a continent with absolutely nothing on it. So what does the Swamp Cave do?
The Swamp Cave takes you to another location, which could be on the same...
Oh!
I'm just going to stop talking for a while, because I won't be able to get a word in for that.
Can you see the beauty of that? So everybody, I think we mentioned the Sparkover Bridge a little bit earlier on in the seed, and now we have right before you a Sparkover Bridge sitting there with its one tile of glory. Anyway, we've also got a landmass over here with nothing on it from what I'm seeing so far. But just for, visual proof, a true Sparkover Bridge is a bridge that leads to one tile of land. We have another town and another cave over by Zman here, and we finally, at an hour and 35 minutes in, find Remolder. Friends, we can buy keys.
So it's undeniable now that Zman has a tangible lead, having a slight lead in experience and a big lead in exploration and key items acquired. The keys are going to open up, he's already seen Garinham, he's already seen the Grave, there are a few options there. And so, I think Zman has the lead at the moment, and we'll just have to wait and see how he uses that lead to translate into potential victory.
So what do we have in the chest here? 2 keys for a silver harp. That's actually useful.
Another required item out of the way for Zman.
So what do you do with the silver harp?
There is a shrine where you trade the silver harp for the Staff of Rain. You need to do this before you can win the game. The Staff of Rain combined with the Stones of Sunlight, provided you have Erdrick's token to produce the Rainbow Drop, which is required to enter Sharlock through that large sea we saw. JJ Schmidt, I believe, is the first to find coal. Let's see if the armor's here. That could change things.
So on our third spot we have the Fairy Flute. Is there anything else you can do with the harp?
Well, in certain seeds, it doesn't happen often, but when you start with the harp and there's nothing to fight, you can use the silver harp to summon an enemy. In Randomizer, it will summon one of 8 enemies, and you never know if you could get either something weaker than the opening zone you're seeing, or you could get a metal slime and jump way ahead. The possibility is there. The Stones of Sunlight Cave provides 1 additional chest for Zman.
Is there anything else you can do with the harp?
Well, if you use it in combat, you can make your enemy look happy.
And what does that do?
I certainly did not, Christoborg. Sparkover just knows how to do a good dual commentary.
Oh my gosh! I can't handle this scene, it's so beautiful! Have you seen all these bridges?
I mean, they were like this at the beginning. It continues.
So we've got some bridges and we're going to a level. You should read some letters.
Level
numbers.
13, 4, 13, 8, and 5. A big level stat-wise. That response speed is going to be really helpful.
Alright, so I think I've calmed down enough. Hey look, we found the tablet cave!
One more chest in here. I believe the only caves that Zman hasn't seen are the Shrine and Jerk caves.
So the tablet cave. That's a very good encounter rate he's having with 0. Why is that?
Well, you see, Sparkover, in Dragon Warrior... Oh, there's Erdrick's token, by the way. So, once Zman does find the Shrine Cave and the Jerk Cave, he will be able to get the Rainbow Drop. But yeah, in Dragon Warrior, the Tablet Cave is very close to home, and you get Erdrick's Tablet, which is gives you a bit of story about what you're trying to accomplish in the game. And the code is the same in Randomizer, so there are no encounters in that cave. You can see JJ's still not far behind in experience, and with Hurtmore, is going to be able to keep pace really easily.
So Christopher actually says in chat, vanilla token, is this even random? That is not vanilla token if I am to just be a little bit informative here. The token you actually find on the map. You find Erdrick's tablet. Did you know back way in the olden days, Erdrick actually had like the original iPod pad.
Yes, it was solar powered, which was a miracle in times of yore. Everyone, there are 700 people right now who didn't know it 5 seconds ago, but now they desperately want an iPod pad.
So JJ picks up the large shield. Now a little bit more defended. Tried to buy the silver one, but was a little short of money.
Just a little.
Alright, so continuing on with the exploration here, Zedman has made some, decent progress. Oh, we're going back to Bridgeville, aren't we?
Bridgeville, you mean this seed?
Yes.
Anywhere on the map?
But here! My beautiful Sparko Bridge. What if this is the seed that's where the coordinates are? Speaking of coordinates, I guess there actually is a lot for Zedman to do back on the other side now that we do have keys. We've got the treasury. Oh! Please! Ah, what a shame. Is that another one up there? If we move one tile up to the north, we might see another Sparkover Bridge. Shoutouts to me, though. Okay, it's not. That one continues. If by shoutouts to me, I mean, that was a shoutout to me. I feel very special.
Oxidus has been found, the last town to be discovered, and there's a stone man here. This enemy can be taken out, but without the sleep spell, it's going to be more difficult. But Zedman does elect to go for a hurt more. Attacking now, and he will be able to take it down with heal more if the stone man does not have Dragon Lord Breath or sleep or a heal spell.
Or just an extra punchy attack, which unfortunately he does have.
It happened yet again.
However, the good news for Zedman is there is a lot to do on this continent as well, starting with we've got a treasury and a basement to look at. I believe we only have 2 caves left, which is the Shrine Cave and the Jerk Cave, am I right?
Right, so he's hoping to see the Shrine Cave first so that when he finds the Jerk Cave, he's ready for the exchange. Although, to be fair, this is back at home, so he's got an easy way to warp back there if it is the Jerk Cave.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he checked the treasure chest yet, but I might have missed it.
So what do you do in the Jerk Cave?
Well, we talked about this, we almost touched on it before. Here's the exchange for the Staff of Rain. You need this, the Stones of Sunlight, and Erdrick's token, all of which now Zedman has. You bring them to the Jerk Cave, and he will give you the Rainbow Drop, which allows you to enter Sharlock.
Level 13 for JJ. Just interrupting here. So why is he called the Jerk, anyway?
Well, you see, Sparkover.
Yes?
In times of yore...
Your? Mine?
In times of yore, the Jerk would get very what word? Complacent is the word I was looking for. There's Sharlock on JJ's screen, by the way. If you do not bring Erdrick's token to the Jerk, he will get very angry at you and cast you out.
Gosh, that's awful.
Yeah.
Though he's really just doing his job. What kind of person would give him a name like the Jerk?
I don't know, it'd have to be someone really rude.
Yeah. It was me! It was me all along! I like doing commentary with you. Shoutouts to NESCardinality.
Oh, thank you. Every time I see a green dragon death, or a red dragon death, and there's a little bit of a pause, I pray that these competitors are not considering forfeiting, because they are so close together. JJ has virtually eliminated the experience gap. Zedman still with a bit of an equipment lead. Anything can happen in this race. It is possible and very feasible for JJ to potentially catch up in experience as he discovers those items that Zedman has already received. So anything can happen at this point. Looks like JJ is navigating in the dark. I'm not sure which cave that is. I didn't see where it was.
Pretty sure he's in the grave right now. And hey look, one of my very favorite features of Randomizer, a demon knight in the dark. So you see, when you're in a cave, the background is all black and dark. But a demon knight is also all black and dark. It makes a very good sprite. So JJ gets the unfortunate news of a not very exciting grave.
Already a potential advantage upcoming for JJ. Oh no, he's gonna cast outside first. If there's a town nearby, he's gonna want to heal and then check out those last 2 chests.
Well, I believe over here is where we're going to find the swamp cave, which if he does go through that, it's going to lead us to all kinds of joy. Or possibly just Hawksness without some joy, but we'll see where that goes. Alright, JJ
does elect to use outside to get out instantly.
And he does head the way that we know that Remulder is, so as long as he can stay alive with his lack of MP here, you know, he could be very close behind with getting some keys.
I always laugh when a wolf runs away, because a wolf is a huge sprite, and for it to instantaneously vanish in fear is just hilarious to me. It doesn't happen terribly often. Ah, unfortunate luck from a stone man. Terrible luck. Inches away from Remulder.
And, you know, that's just kind of foreshadowing. Like, that's going to be what Hawksness is like as well. So let's see, in the back door of Garenham, we've got some gold, we've got some torch, and some fairy water. Not quite as exciting, and behind here we are going to find, well, the mentioned jerk, which, you know, it'll be nice today.
Zedman has everything at this point, so the rainbow drop will be received. The only thing that hasn't been revealed is Erdrick's sword, and the only chests that Zedman has not checked, I believe, are the 2 in the grave. Will Zedman go back and check those chests, or will he risk hoping that the sword will be in Sharlock, in one of those 6 chests in the basement? We'll have to wait and see.
Alright, so here we've got man with the coordinates. He looks like the jerk, but he's a lot kinder.
I almost forgot after all this time that neither player has Erdrick's armor, and it could very well be on the map. In fact, the fairy flute was in coal, so I think if we see coordinates here, it has to be the armor.
It'll let us know if it's Hawksness or not, and it's in Hawksness.
And that's just a stone man. That's a totally beatable enemy at this point, so that won't take long.
Yeah, with their HP, it's a little bit concerning, but, well, with her more, I feel like he'll definitely get a level before getting there anyway, and it's easy to prepare for in that way.
JJ Schmidt has completely eliminated the experience lead. There may be, let's see. Yeah, like a green dragon apart, and he's beating a Wraith Knight now, so the lead is totally gone. This is gonna be a very close race either way.
So question in chat, I have a question for you from Christopher. How does the coordinate guy get food? I imagine he's a wizard and can probably just like conjure up something.
Either that or he has some sort of delivery system.
That or he's got like a bag of chips in his hat.
Of course. I mean, it's easy to let a water bottle last all day. That's something he can carry under his cloak.
Onward we go. The world is open. For Zedman.
They are 13 points of experience apart, and this werewolf is going to give JJ the lead once again. Everything is so close at this point. And And now they actually have enough HP to consider heal more after taking damage from a red dragon. You can see it paid off there, but unfortunately, JJ once again did not get away. 69 agility, still not great for getting away from red dragons, but it's worth a try.
So with Zman getting the fairy flute here, he now knows for sure that the armor is in Hawksness.
Yeah, I imagine he'll be heading back there, and then he only has the grave to consider for chests outside of Sharlock for Erdrick's sword.
I don't think he opened the treasury though, did he?
Well, I didn't see it. I just assumed when he passed by it that he had already done it or something, but I could be wrong. That's an oversight that I've made as a player and many others have as well. We'll just have to wait and see.
So we've got 7. No, 6. 6. I know how many chests are in the treasury. 6 chests outside of Sharlock. But, you know, that's pretty 50-50 as far as the split goes then. For
Indeed.
Potential. And yeah, good point in chat as well. If, you know, the sword is in there, then that's going to be very, you know, very helpful in fighting the Stone Man as well.
Bonk, bonk.
So this is the mountain cave. I believe Zedman has full cleared this one already. Unless he's going to make a gold grind. But he is trying to run from the dragon. Question in chat, is there any advantage on ignoring the treasury? I think the only reason you would want to ignore that is if you can verify that you already have all of the important items in the game. It is possible the treasury doesn't have anything relevant.
But it's a fairly long shot. I mean, even if I had Erdrick's sword, I would still check the treasury if I didn't have the fighter's ring.
What does the fighter's ring do?
Well, Sparkover, in Dragon Warrior, the original game, the fighter's ring didn't do anything. It was supposed to give you a little bit of strength, but unfortunately, due to a programming oversight, that just didn't happen. Fortunately, the programming wizard McGrew managed to fix that error in Dragon Warrior Randomizer, and the fighter's ring now gives +2 attack power, which is a great quantity. I don't think it needs to be any higher. I think it works really well as something that is still something that you really want to find in a race.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a whole lot, but I mean, even doing the endgame math and trying to figure out when to defeat the Dragon Lord, you know, that can even push your numbers up just high enough that maybe, you know, if you have that, it's time to go versus not.
40 damage taken by JJ to that red dragon. There is no way, there's absolutely no way that JJ thinks he's in the lead in experience right now. But he is.
Yeah, the low HP is definitely really harmful to our racers right now. Even with the Herdmore spell, it's definitely, you know, just difficult to navigate the world with all of these very strong enemies that are out to get you.
Yeah, so I'd just like to point out, because the talk is coming around, This seed is an outlier. This is not a great demonstration of what most races are like. I can't remember the last time first place took more than 2 hours in a seed. And we have almost daily races with, 4 and above people. This type of stuff just doesn't happen too often. This seed is definitely an outlier. Thankfully, the race itself has been absolutely great, and I'm super entertained by it. But you can expect a lot of faster races over the next week and couple months as well.
Question in chat, why does Zman not try the chests in Sherlock? And I think the biggest answer to that right now is getting downstairs to the treasury will be really difficult at this point. Again, the low HP is really going to hurt when you are trying to navigate a spot with, the largest enemies in the game. Also, the damage tiles right outside the top floor throne, they're really going to hurt you without the armor. It's really, really, really rare you want to go into Sherlock without finding Erdrick's armor.
Yeah, we can confirm at this point this seed will go longer than 2 hours.
I don't know, we've still got a few minutes to figure that out.
I don't know if you can walk to the bottom of Sherlock and defeat the Dragon Lord in less than 5 minutes.
Yeah, okay, probably not. Yeah, this is definitely a little bit of a different seed. Oh, I've got a question in chat. How long does it take in the manipulated run?
Well, in the manipulated run, we have to consider that we also take a detour to go upstairs and pick up Erdrick's sword before we go downstairs, so it's not the easiest question to answer. We also have to remember that the attacks on the Dragon Lord are using the antiquated not antiquated, but like from the original game, which has a max damage of 12, so it takes 12 casts to beat the Dragon Lord. The good news is the Dragon Lord doesn't get to attack back, he's always asleep, and we don't have to use heal mores, so in that regard it's faster. In the walk upstairs it's a little slower. How does it compare? It's tough to say.
Yeah, so question in chat, you have to get all those items beside the stats, and the answer is not necessarily. I know there's already been some help in chat, but just to go over it again, you need to get the harp so you can get the staff. You need to get the staff, stones, and token to make the drop. Keys are necessary like 99% of the time. I cannot think of a seed where a key was not necessary. And otherwise, the GPS and the flute are not necessary, but might be helpful. And anything other than the equipment? Technically, it is optional.
In terms of your gear, it's worth mentioning that Erdrick's armor is essentially necessary. It's possible to get a bunch of extra levels, but that would take, twice the amount of time or so in nearly every seed. In terms of the sword, we do see some seeds where something weird happens, like we learn Hurt More late and get crazy attack power, and we don't actually need Erdrick's sword. That does happen. But the armor, I would say, you essentially need to get in order to finish competitively.
So yeah, armor is guaranteed to be in Hawksness, guarded by a stone man. Now they do have the sleep spell at level 14, which is very commonly used against it.
I still think Zman is ahead in exploration and gear, while JJ has started to gain a little bit in experience. So again, we're seeing things very close, and anything could happen in this crazy seed.
JJ, where are you now? I I'm not sure.
I'll know in about 2 steps. It looks like he's going for the close chest on the 2nd floor of the mountain cave. No, he's going up now. Still could be the mountain
Still can
cave.
be mountain.
Now he went right, so I have no idea. Oh, there's the chest.
Oh, that must have been the top of mountain. Yeah, this is the top of the mountain cave.
Good call.
Really wanted that belt. So I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with the RPG Valkyries, but we have a little bit of, let's say, a reputation for rolling really bad randomizer seeds. I'm definitely, as Game Boy just said in chat even, I am a member, so I'm just, continuing the tradition. Yeah, it's come up in chat a bit, and I am a little curious if Zman has just sort of lost track of a few things. It depends on, I guess, whether or not he plays with a map sometimes. I am definitely a map player myself, but there are definitely a few things he could be doing right now. On the other hand, the treasury has also been a little bit neglected. Folks, we have reached the 2-hour mark. Still just wandering around, fighting whoever we can. Zarnak still believes in the sub, too. I somehow think that's not going to happen, unfortunately. Just a guess, but, I could be wrong on that. So I think this is Swamp South for JJ? That looks about right. JJ has been through here once before, but he's out of MP, so he's unable to cast outside. So it looks like he chooses not to go through, unfortunately. He finds another metal slime, gets a first attack on it. It's still there. Oh, was that actually... Is it actually a single continent? Wow. But JJ gets another metal slime. Nice little boost of experience there. And oh my gosh, JJ searches my tile. I'm very touched here. So that is tricky. We definitely are seeing some more single continent games here. So in this case, the Swamp Cave just kind of acts as a little bit of, a shortcut. We do know that the town of Remolder is just along this path. But he needs to heal up to be able to pretty much survive and do anything, so... We know he's close to a town, and we want to believe in him to get to the town. Little pupper going on an adventure, finds a town. A few more steps, and he makes it. And JJ has found Remolder.
And at the same time, Zedman dying to yet another red dragon. It's just the story of the seed.
Not a good bedtime story, though.
Both players remain virtually equal in experience at this point. And with the acquisition of keys, JJ Schmidt could catch up quickly in gear acquisition as well.
JJ does a little alley-oop, remembering to go back into the town and see what's around.
Gotta get that fairy water.
Well, this one was actually the silver harp, wasn't it?
Oh, that's right. I'm thinking of a seed I did last night.
Yep. So silver harp in the chest. And maybe he'll even remember to stay at the inn. Are pets allowed? I suppose if you're a solo hero, you might not be considered a pet. Alright, so broadsword now for JJ. Going into the cave, finds the Stones of Sunlight cave. I think this one was a little bit insignificant. Excellent move on the Green Dragon for Zman. JJ goes into the little cove of the bridges and finds the tablet cave. This one I think was also not very important. Oh, sorry, it was the token. My mistake. It's Sparko's sleepy time, and I cannot remember things. So that makes, you know, the key items for JJ, who quickly casts a return and decides to go home. And checks the treasury right away. Let's see if there's anything new in here. We have got the wings. Gold. The herb. And more gold. So we know that now the sword is not in here. So now I believe we're down to the two bottom chests of the grave or the castle of Sharlock. So JJ almost goes down to the basement, chooses to turn around. I assume to buy keys? That looks like it. The lead of experience have now actually passed on to Zman, who is about 600 experience away from the next level. Both runners are still missing armor, though. But other than that, I believe JJ has seen enough to know that after exchanging the staff, or rather exchanging the harp for the staff, that Garanham will have the jerk in it. And of course he doesn't know that the jerk is not, or the sword is not in that town. But process of elimination, I know he's seen Cole. And possibly not Catelyn, but that was on the other side, or rather the coordinates, but that is on the way to Garanham as well, so I have a feeling that might be what JJ will be heading to do next. Zman heading back down south, I assume looking for Hawksness again. And you know, shoutouts to this map where the swamp south cave connects to the swamp north on the same continent, but actually the south is in the north. That's are we actually looking at the map upside down? It's quite possible.
Zman retaking the experience lead just a little bit. Things are still really close together. People in chat are theorizing that Zman is a little bit lost. I think the only thing he has to find is Hawksness. And then there are potentially those two chests to check in Garen's grave. I think Zman has everything else. How long until he makes his way back to Hawksness?
I'm sure that's what's on his mind right now. It just depends on actually finding him there. Hawksness is through the swamp cave as mentioned in chat, but actually, it's also on the same continent. It's one of those funny little maps where it's actually all one big piece. Though he's very close to where the swamp cave is now, so he will... I have a feeling he will find Hawksness very soon.
Electing to go straight to Hawksness rather than checking those bottom two chests first. Can't blame him there. And is that it?
Yes, yes it is. Is he gonna do it?
Yes, he is.
Alright. We believe.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate the decision to do this first, given the MP situation. He knows he needs a lot, potentially, for the Stone Man.
JJ on the other side doing some chores, you know, going on the world tour now that the caves exist. Or rather, the keys. Sorry, caves existed a while ago. We remember that exciting moment when we saw our first cave. So we're almost at the Stone Man. Almost there. JJ discovering the chests in the back of Garenham, but as we know, they are not too exciting. A few swamp tiles later, a few one heal spell later, and we are fighting the Stone Man. I assume, yeah, there is the sleep spell. Sometimes there's a little bit of lag. On the other side, JJ picks up the token. And Zman is just fighting against the Stone Man, trying to keep him to sleep. Punching away, he's got 2 heal mores left. I assume he's not going to try putting him to sleep again at this point. And he did it there. I guess he was really paying attention to what he was doing. And by the way, that is also enough for level 15. What have we here? 3 power, 1 speed, 19 hit points, finally may I add, and 4 MP.
I still would have used the heal more for the record, but he might have some plans about using additional MP on his way out of here. Yeah, he's casting Return. Looks like that's what it was for.
So very brave on his part, but of course, if he, you know, was planning it out well, maybe, you know, he had it all set. On the other end, we have JJ doing his Cantlin chores, has, you know, asked for the coordinates, possibly brought the old man a snack, but he didn't bring a snack, so there were no coordinates in return. Zman looking at his numbers here, let's see, we've got 116 attack power, mind you, that is going to be improved once we find the sword. With 94 strength and 98 MP. It looks nice until he has 87 HP. A little bit of a, you know, stopping point there.
So Sparkover, just how much HP do you want to have before fighting the Dragon Lord?
At least 91. So generally I think 97 is considered the safe number, though anything past that is a lot nicer to have. 97, 98 in there is probably what's considered what you want to have. There are definitely some factors in mind. When I say 91, I'm kidding. I'm looking for the response. The look that says, why are you even answering it like that? That's not correct. But no. As Zarnak says in chat, 87 is plenty if he gets another 30 strength, which technically is true. Some people will go fight the Dragon Lord at smaller HP amounts for times when you are actually quite above average in strength. However, yes, most of the time, 97 is what you want to consider your minimum. Anything more, you definitely want to have, especially if your defense power isn't up there. I believe, what's the safety number for defense? 86?
86, yes, for not taking 49 from the Dragon Lord.
So the Dragon Lord can do 2 things. He can either breathe fire on you, or he can... does he punch? I mean, he's got claws, but he attacks you in some physical way, one or another. Maybe he swings his tail at you. Either way, if you do not have 86 defense, he can hit you for more than 48, which is the maximum the Dragon Lord breath can do once you have gotten the armor. So that's generally your guideline for, you know, safety. Another good point brought up in chat, you can go with low HP if you have tons of MP for extra healing too. There is no, like, exact set place for when you want to fight the Dragon Lord. There are guidelines, but each seed is different, and, you know, there can be variation in between all of the ways to do it. Alright, so rolling on here, JJ had just hit level 15, and Zman is, you know, slowly working on the next one, and I guess there isn't a whole lot else for him to do other than find the sword. JJ's still got a couple more chores to do, or at least one, which is fight the Stone Man. Neither of them have seen the bottom of the grave.
That's what I'm waiting for. In this situation, I would 100% go and check out the grave every time for Erdrick's sword, when that's the one thing I'm missing. It's just that important to verify that it is or isn't there before diving into Sharlock. Because when you run into a seed where it is there, you might dive and just lose the race outright because the sword isn't available to you. Now, fortunately, both players are at a point where they still need to grind, so when they go into the grave, they can gain experience along the way, so it's not that bad of a thing to do. I don't think I've seen what the Swamp Cave grind enemy is yet. I don't think either player has checked.
No, I don't believe anybody has, and some people are just less likely to check if they're not even planning on rescuing the princess. However, it can be, you know, a good thing to check out, especially if your Hawksness enemy isn't very appealing. The Zman thinks he likes these Axe Knights right out here.
Yeah, it looks like Zman has nestled into total grind mode, and it's certainly working for him, taking a bit of an experience lead at this point. I just don't know if he's going to go back into the grave, or if he thinks it matters to do it right now because he knows he might have to get more than one level at this point, and he just wants a bit more of, I don't know, an agility buffer to run away from red dragons or something.
So we've got JJ snaking his way down to the south. I assume headed towards Hawksness on the same chore that Zman had gone on. And there we go, we're going to see the Stone Man again. I suppose technically both the Swamp and the Hawksness are kind of far away from any inn to stay at. So that could be just the appealing part of, you know, walking circles around whatever town that is that Zman's at. Almost a close call for JJ, but I feel like he'll still definitely have enough MP to get through this fight here.
Absolutely.
Zman about 400-ish experience away from the next level. 9750 is what we're looking at, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 400-ish. I wonder what that's like, to just be, you know, going about your day and then seeing Lolo walking around your town. Just outside the border, but though it's like, ah, Lolo's on patrol. We can feel safe.
I would start hearing the Lolo music in my head. The level which persists through so many levels.
The red dragon is being really cruel to JJ, but, you know, they are a good decent amount of experience. But they don't want you to run from them. Anyway, let's look at level 16. What are we looking for here? 11 power. Oh gosh. 1 speed. 7 hit points. 7 magic. That's got to be the magical number. Oh wait, our HP! That attack power is going to be really high once you have the sword, though. What do you think? Is that negligible?
I'm looking at the numbers right now. I didn't realize their strength was quite as high as it is. This is definitely a point where it's go time in a race setting. And certainly for a tournament race. So it could end up with some interesting finishing possibilities. But, yeah, it's gonna take, like, 10 attacks to win, and they have 13 heal mores. That is a lot of leeway for safely heal moring yourself when 94 HP results in you taking a danger attack.
The only really more dangerous thing about that, though, would be their defense is actually low, so...
That is true, that's definitely a factor, and my goodness, if there are red dragons in Charlock, that could make it dangerous. So yeah, it's definitely possible that both players will go to level 17.
So on the other hand, with this attack power in Red Dragons and Charlock, it might also be appealing to just get another level there. Possibly. Question in chat, is the sword randomized? Yes, the sword location is randomized. Traditionally found in the singular chest in Charlock Castle, it can be in any treasure chest we have. Currently, we have our locations limited to any chest in Charlock or the bottom 2 of Garen's grave.
Zman has clearly decided in favor of getting level 17, and with the... he doesn't know this, but with the current experience lead he has, this is in every way the right thing to do. Star Wyverns have heal, and he's just gonna fight his way through it. Which is perfectly reasonable to do when you're this strong, even when you only have the broadsword. Now this is good. If Zman is diving early, he can actually find out if the sword is in Charlock before he does the level 17 dive. That could work out really well.
And so, using the Rainbow Drop, we are able to make the Rainbow Bridge and head into Charlock Castle. Zman is choosing to fight the Star Wyvern. Definitely grinding on your way down is a, decent choice in some situations. And when your attack power is very high, it can be very nice, especially to pick off the smaller enemies. He needs 12,000 experience to get to level 17. Meanwhile, JJ making his way down south again, unfortunately was taken out of Hawksness. Very close to the Stone Man, but red dragons have just been awful news this entire time. Zman now descends into the darkness in Charlock Castle. So continuing on, werewolves in theory probably wouldn't be too bad to fight, but I feel like I remember them having something terrible, either Hurtmore or Dragonlord Breath, possibly one of the two. You might just not even want to deal with all the enemies when you're out here. Especially not the Golem. So the Fairy Flute. That can put Golem to sleep. It's the only thing that the Fairy Flute can do. And the only enemy that can be put to sleep with it. But it can give you either a safe way to run away, or a safer grind enemy.
I probably would have just run from this guy and looked for better things to fight, but I like Zman's initiative here. Although it does take a little extra time to blow the Fairy Flute, this is a fairly safe battle that gives a lot of experience, and he really only needs about 6 battles this valuable to reach level 17. So this is gonna do a massive portion of the remaining grinding that he has to do.
Yeah, 3 enemies give 255 experience, and Golem are generally probably the most reliable ones, you know, mid-game-ish to overall. Red dragons are great, but you want to be strong to fight them. And metal slimes, well, they're wiggly.
Zman has used one of his heal mores, but he is clearly reserving the somewhat remote but very possible option of actually trying to win the game on this dive in addition to getting the sword. I wasn't really expecting this, but it makes perfect sense as a possibility, and it looks like he has a lot of potential leeway.
Unfortunately, getting back attacked by the red dragon is kind of rude, but, you know, again...
Ooh. Only took 20 damage there, so he could get the second swing before a heal more. That's really valuable, and he's perfectly happy to use this heal more with 11 heal mores in reserve. As I say, he could burn off another 2 at least, maybe more, and, you know, expecting something more from the next level, he could still potentially go for the Dragon Lord.
Yeah, again, there can be wiggle room depending on how the levels fall. The only downside is, of course, if your big gain is MP, you can't do anything about that because there's no way to heal your MP outside of death or going to stay at an inn.
Now what'll be really interesting is if the sword is not downstairs. I still don't think either player has checked the bottom 2 chests of the grave.
No, and it can be interesting. I mean, I suppose the snap decision there would be to check the vanilla chest, but there are places. Anyway, JJ has gotten back into Hawksness and finds a red dragon right before the Stone Man, but runs away without a problem and is going to be able to fight the Stone Man. Only has 3 heal mores, but I want to believe.
He'll win. Oh, he has sleep as well. There you go.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he wanted to, you know, risk a heal more anyway, but with 47 on the first attack there, we are golden.
Now Zman is down to 8 heal mores at this point. What this means is if the sword is down here, he's going to complete this level, and then there's going to be some close calculation to analyze, and it'll be interesting.
So we found some wings. Found a key! Found a death necklace. I don't think we'll be using that. Some gold. Torch. Are you feeling tense?
Starting to get nervous.
I'm a little clenched over here. Oh gosh, the drama. And by the way, on the other end, I don't think I had mentioned that JJ had defeated the Stone Man to get the armor, but that did happen as well. Red Dragon guarding what could be the most important chest in the game. Or possibly gold.
Or a cursed belt.
Ooh, we haven't seen another one of those.
So yeah, it looks like Zman has used too much magic to win, unless this level is monumentally huge, but with only 5 heal mores, it's pretty doubtful.
How much strength would you need for 5 heal mores to be safe?
That's backwards calculation. The sword is there!
We found the sword!
So he's gonna for sure finish the level. It looks like he's gonna use the flute again to make it happen. And then we'll see. If he gained, wait, what's he at right now? Yeah, if he gained about 15 attack power, well, maybe not even that much, he could still do it with 5 heal mores. He is really strong right now.
Alright, come on, 15 attack power! What are we gonna get?
Wouldn't that be interesting? Oh my goodness!
Is 9 close enough?
Alright, let me run the numbers. It's going to be 8 attacks to win, he has 5 heal mores, so no.
He hasn't cast outside yet.
I mean, it's possible, but he would have to get the first attack. And agility is not exactly high. It's certainly worth taking a look, but if he has to use a single heal more on the way over, it's basically not going to be worth it. So it all comes down to red dragons, basically.
He's thinking about it. He's not thinking about it.
It came close. It would have been interesting.
He hadn't exited yet.
But now after this heal, it's going to be trivially easy to beat the Dragon Lord. It's just about the, Oh wow, casting Return, but not that far from Sharlock, I guess.
Yeah, I honestly think casting Return and then just going to Breckenridge here might be faster than trying to walk to a town from Sharlock, because I think Sharlock might have just been around the corner from Breckenridge, so there's that. And there we are at that magical 98 HP number, and defense has gone up to 81, so you're still not totally safe from the Dragon Lord's physical attacks, but it's a little nicer than the 77 that we were at before.
One last thing to consider now, if JJ grinds this level on the way down and picks up the sword and happens to have more MP left, he could fight the Dragon Lord on that dive, and that would make the race extremely close.
I mean, one thing Zman definitely has going for him, he knows that he does not have to be incredibly sparing with his heal mores on the way down, so it's a very safe walk for him. And, you know, that's definitely one thing that if JJ were to go grind his way down, he would not exactly be able to risk, just because he wouldn't know, you know, what he's got waiting for him at the other side of the level. So now we have JJ making the rainbow drop, or rather, making the bridge with the rainbow drop. And going into Sherlock himself. We do know that Sherlock is a little bit rude with a few of the enemies, but not all that awful altogether.
Unfortunately, JJ's already used a heal more, but he has fought his way through more than half of the level grind at this point. And he gets a nice lucky runaway from an Armored Knight there. So yeah, if he's able to get this next level smoothly, he could potentially win the game here. If he remembers the 2 chests in the grave, he's probably thinking he's risking a lot doing this, but he might feel like, I mean, he's probably felt like this has been a dire situation for the past 2 hours. So really can't blame him here.
The major difference here is that he is going to want to be fighting things on the way down if that's his plan, whereas Zman is really just going to want to be running from everything. Though with that attack power, maybe not, but in theory, he doesn't need to do all these fights.
JJ finding easy enemies. Has a little bit of a lead in Sharlock right now, but that is about to disappear as Zman progresses forward without fighting things.
And Sherlock encounter rate can be really random as far as getting people, you know, ahead and behind each other, but so far Zman is actually having a little bit of a quiet walk. And yeah, he's just like ignoring all the enemies. He knows he doesn't need them. Comment in chat. This commentator sounds like NESCard. Well, hi there, NESCardinality. It's a pleasure doing commentary with you tonight.
Pleasure is mine as well, Sparkover.
Oh, thank you. Hi, I'm Sparkover, and this is NESCardinality, and we are commentating on the 2019 Dragon Warrior Randomizer Tournament Race.
It's a pleasure to be here with all of you for the inaugural race of the tournament. Stay tuned, we have another one coming up right afterwards, this time with 4 people playing the same seed. They will still be competing only directly against each other, but I believe the race will be recorded with all 4 in the same race. Which really only matters for points, but not for the tournament itself.
However, the next one's going to be sub-hour, right?
It's very possible.
Please, please, for Sparko. Do it for Sparko.
JJ getting bad luck trying to run from a golem, normally very easy to run from. Uses another herb just in case, since he knows he has to fight stuff along the way still.
Just one more dark floor for Zman.
Even with 83 agility, Zman's struggling to run away from a red dragon. Will be using a heal more here.
It never feels good to use a heal more in Sherlock, even if you know you have the extra MP. And unfortunately for JJ, the Armored Knight is being very rude, which Armored Knights tend to do. It's really thinking there.
Oh.
Oh, but unfortunately, he is taken down by the Armored Knight. And he's sent back home.
He still wouldn't have won the race, as we can all but expect Zman to win here, but that must feel pretty bad after everything else that's happened. I really feel JJ's pain from all the Red Dragon malarkey that's happened in this race. He doesn't know how close things have been throughout, but he must have just felt behind for the entire thing, and I know what that's like when being behind is entirely out of your control and you're just waiting for RNG to cooperate.
Though at least for a little bit of silver lining, even though it's not going to do very much at this point, now he's got his MP full again and fewer fights to do to get the next level, so we can hope that this descent is the one. He only needs like a couple more enemies and he's got the level. So he'll know he has it after this. Hey, by the way, there's a mini-boss on this floor. What do you think it is?
Axe Knight?
Oh, well, it's a golem. That's okay, we've got a fairy flute. In fact, we've seen Zman already defeat a few of them, so we know it's not going to be too bad.
Oh. Oh, wow, I'm surprised he didn't heal more. He should heal more here, just because it's quicker, but he can also use herbs. It really doesn't matter. He has too many excess heal mores to worry about any choice.
Look at those Dragon Lord colors, very sharp.
He didn't even heal to full. He has 87 HP right now. He's totally comfortable. He could do over 50 damage to the first form of the Dragon Lord, which you don't see often.
Gonna do a bit of the herb dance, but I still don't think it's necessary. It's always tempting, though. 41? What a low roll!
I hope he thinks about her heal. Yeah, okay, good. Because if he enters the next form and it attacks first, it could kill him.
That would be a shame after all this, but it would also make things interesting, but it would be a shame. And healing again on 48, that I think is definitely a good decision in this situation.
True to this seed's form, Sherlock was very difficult, and finally, Zman is in a position to take down the Dragon Lord.
Alright, shall you do the honors?
Taken 16 damage so far, and gets a double attack. That's 39 in total. The Dragon Lord has between 150 and 165 HP in each seed. It is the same for the seed, meaning both players will have the Dragon Lord at the same HP. That makes 61.
We pretty much know, short of a miss menu, you know, it's 1, but counting is fun.
88 damage. Zman was probably the underdog going into this race. Really solid job pushing through such a difficult seed to take the win. There's 106 damage. $131. Next attack could do it, but it's likely going to be 2 more. $149. Gonna safety heal more here. No reason to risk anything. And this attack will almost certainly do it. So congratulations to Zman for sticking it out and trudging through one of the most difficult seeds of the year, and a crazy start to this tournament. GG Zman, congratulations, well done.
Yeah, very, very tough seed, but definitely GG. And finishes with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 37 minutes, and 32 seconds.
And JJ, really well played, keeping up, you know, after all the bad stuff that happened, evening out the experience, making it a close race. GG from both.
Oh dear, and my music has disappeared. Let's just switch it over here to JJ's audio. Hopefully that's an alright volume. And we are going to be pulling in Zman for an interview. Soon as I can find my Discord. Hello there, sir. I think we can all feel that from you.
Well said.
Congratulations,
what on
though.
earth was that? I mean, and how was JJ not done yet? I mean, JJ's a really good runner at this game. What happened?
I mean, honestly, it was a pretty close race altogether. But you had the lead for most of it. It did shift places here and there, but it was really good to watch.
I'm glad it was good to watch because right about the hour and a half seed, I was just waiting for JJ to be done. I mean, when did I find my first cave? An hour and a half in, an hour 40 in? That was ridiculous.
It was probably around an hour and somewhere in there. I believe it was an hour and 17 minutes when we were, or an hour and 19 when we were talking about how nobody had found a cave yet, and then JJ found the mountain cave and promptly died to a red dragon. That was the theme.
Red dragons, demon knights were my bane for a while there. But that was just rough.
Yeah, they were quite awful as well. There were a lot of things that were incredibly rough about that. It was, well.
And, you know, when I dove Sharlock the first time, I'm like, please let the sword be in here. Please let the sword be in here. I don't want to go back to the grave and dive the bottom too. Although that said, the strength gain at 16, I probably could have won the game with the broadsword that I had. But, oh, man.
We were almost wondering if, even after using some MP, you were going to go fight the Dragon Lord when you found the sword, but we thought you had just used a little bit too much to actually make it.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, nah, I just used too much. So instead of death warping, I'm like, let's just do this the quick and easy way.
Mm-hmm.
But
oh,
yeah,
worked out well, though.
The early grind was interesting because we had no strength, and the only thing we could kill was Drakies, and then, you know, maybe if we didn't get charcoaled, some ghosts. And then once we could finally kill Magidrakies, then, you know, didn't still had much strength, so that took a while before we could even get over to Breckenary. Oof.
Yeah, I think it took until about level 7 or 8 when you were finally able to get through that swamp. It was pretty brutal. And then Breckenary actually had no weapons when you got there.
Actually, I'm sorry, you blipped out there. Actually had no what?
No weapons in Breckenary. It was just armor and, you know, shields.
Yep, chainmail large shield. I was rocking that for a large portion of the game. And then, of course, you know, not getting sleep until, what was it, I think level 14. So, given our HP, you couldn't really take out that stone man guarding Erdrick's armor until you got the sleep spell. Yeah,
I mean, that was very late considering the circumstances involving that. It was just quite a slog the entire way through. I mean, we're, you know, at 2.5 hours in, it's like, gosh. So I've got a question here in chat for you. I'm being told to ask why you skipped the Tantagel Treasury.
There we go, I'm back.
There you are.
What was the question, I'm sorry?
We were asked in chat why you skipped the Tantagel Treasury.
I did.
None of us ever saw you go into it. So... There was nothing of note in it. Okay.
Yeah, nope, thought I did.
That's alright. Thankfully for you, you didn't miss anything. You saved, 10 seconds.
Oh, that. Yeah, so I saved that little bit of time there. Yeah, that was interesting. Oh man, that really could have come back to haunt me if I hadn't. If the sword was in there. Oh my, that's quite the oversight.
Yeah, we were a little concerned about that for you, but it, thankfully for you, never came up that way.
Well, now that I'm actually in chat, I see Wiljan says skip treasury won the game. Yeah, well, not only did I skip the treasury, I also skipped the bottom 2 chests of the grave. So yeah.
Yeah, nobody checked the bottom of the grave, so it's a mystery to what's down there. I assume a cursed belt.
Well, at this point, I would think it's one of the cursed belts, or did we find one? I don't remember. But I know I found the death necklace also in the Sharlock treasury.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it had to have been basically nothing in the bottom of the grave. Maybe a key and maybe some gold or something.
Yes,
all right, JJ,
so.
You can do this. Come on, bud.
Oh, gosh. Well, instead of saving the world, JJ chooses to own half of it.
Oh.
So that is going to be a forfeit, unfortunately. But we do have JJ here in the waiting room. We're going to bring him in, and I'm going to let NESCardinality say some words to you, and I am going to work on setting up the new race. So again, GG.
Hello, JJ. That was a heck of a fight. Believe it or not, it was much closer than you probably think it was throughout the entire race, but I could feel the frustration from all the Red Dragon deaths, getting a lot of bad luck all over the place.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? It's rando. That's how it goes.
An important lesson for everyone. It's Randomizer, anything can happen, and it was just unfortunate. This was a particularly crazy seed. No caves in close to an hour and a half found by either player. Lots of difficulties, but yeah, for the most part, you guys kept it really close, like surprisingly close throughout the entire race. Until maybe the last 20 minutes, Zman just pulled ahead by maybe 500 experience, and managed to have a successful dive to get the sword.
Well, first off, good game, Seaman. That was anybody that finishes that seed did a heck of a job.
Yeah, my
good
goodness.
game, JJ. Good game. That was interesting. So where did you wind up grinding toward the end of the game, if you even needed to?
Oh, I didn't really ever stop anyway.
Yeah, that's understandable.
How did you get your mid levels?
Well, once we got hurt more at 10, it wasn't bad. But from 7 to 10, I found some wolf lords over to the east of Breckenary. I found some wolf lords. I did a few wolf lords there, kind of making my way around to where the mountain cave was. There were a couple of relatively mid-tier enemies. Wraith Knights, I think, were there. So that was primarily wolf lords and Wraith Knights until I got hurt more.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. I messed up a few Wraith Knights in there and just got tilted and kind of snowballed in the middle and then just settled in.
Yeah, as I mentioned, there may have been lots of points where both of you felt like you were terribly behind, but in reality, the experience lead didn't deviate by more than 400 for a very, very long time. It was mostly equal. Zedman got ahead on exploration after a long struggle, and then JJ took the experience lead, close to the 2-hour mark, and it was just too close to call throughout the entire thing until maybe the last 20 minutes. So I really commend you both for fighting through that crazy seed. Well played, GG, and congratulations, Zedman, for the win.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, JJ. You're a heck of a runner. You're you're going to be back, man. You're probably going to go 4-1 in this. I mean, I don't doubt that. This was just one of those crazy seeds that anything could happen, and I just got lucky.
Well, that's the name of the game. I wish you the best going forward. Hopefully you go 5.
I love this community so much. Thank you guys so much for playing and for the interview. Coming up next on RPG Limit Break, we have a 4-player race, which is two player races sort of combined into one. So stay tuned for that and enjoy.
Yep, absolutely. I'll be sticking around here on the mic, and Ferran Burgundy will wind up joining me. So I'm gonna go get myself a little drink of water while we make the changeover. And thank you to CyberDark for tracking, and NESCard and Sparkover. Thank you so much for being on the call for this. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for putting on the show. I'm just going to throw us to a little transition screen here so we can get set up for the next race, and I will try and get it going as quick as I can. Hopefully have no more, OBS mishaps this time, but wish us luck. We will be back soon.